Hello YouTube, Simon here, back as promised with a more in-depth look at Attack from Mars from Arcade1up. So I thought I'd show you the cabinet itself, talk about the screens, have a look at some gameplay, and then give you my overall thoughts about the machine. So as you can see, it strikes an impressive pose in the room. I think Arcade1up has really nailed the proportions of the machine. I'm 6'3", and I have no trouble with the height of the machine. Putting it together, very simple process. What I would say, and I've seen other YouTubers make these observations, the screws can be a bit of a challenge. Probably one out of every set of 3 for each leg posed a little bit of a problem and required a bit of additional force in order to go in. As I mentioned in my first video, the artwork out of the box came with some issues. I've got quite a few Arcade1up machines, never had too much of a problem. In the first video I focused in on here, not sure what to do about that. Maybe if you've got some ideas in the comments, let me know. Should I just scrape away that peeling film? One of the corners, I think it was that corner over there, the artwork was peeling away. Obviously once you put the leg on, that holds that in place. I might just take you to my big buck hunter while we're talking, just to show you an issue I've had with that. You can see some of my other Arcade1up machines here. The big buck hunter artwork's peeling, so I'm going to have to get some suitable glue for that. Again, if anyone's got any ideas about that, let me know. I've got this little beauty, the Marvel vs. Capcom to unpack, so I might put a review up of that in the relatively near future. So we'll go back to the Attack from Mars. As I was saying, I think they've got the proportions right. This is probably the best work that Arcade1up's done. The legs look great. There's lots of chrome. The sound is fantastic. And overall, I think it looks absolutely superb. Okay, let's have a look at the screen. Now it's a 24-inch screen. It's actually 1080p as I understand it, but due to the limitations of the hardware, we're only getting 720p. I've seen the feedback on YouTube, and the consensus seems to be that that's the weak point of this machine. There's also been some suggestions that there's a bit of washout. You can see the contrast on the DMD isn't terrific, and to maintain the aspect ratio, there's bars at top and bottom. Not such a big deal for me. I haven't really got any issue with the screen being washed out. I think the colors are quite good. I don't have any problem with that. And look, most of the games look pretty good. Some of them not so good, particularly where there are transparencies on ramps. No Good Gophers is a pretty good example of that. So that looks a little bit murky or muddy, and some of the tables look a fair bit better than others. So just bear with me. Got to juggle the camera at the same time. We'll get there. Single player. I'm pretty happy. I should have mentioned in the opening about the plunger. I think that works well. You can calibrate that. There is a bit of a dead zone, but again, not an issue. The other thing I'd mention is the accelerometer. I've seen people trap the ball and bash the machine about, and I wonder what would happen if they were on a real pinball machine. An observation I would make that I haven't heard anyone else make is that in general gameplay, it can be quite distracting to look at the DMD. On a normal pinball machine, proper full size, while you're playing, my experience, and I used to own some pinball machines in the past, is that you could keep an eye on the DMD whilst in your peripheral vision, maintaining some view of the table. I find when I play this, if I look at the DMD or what's happening on the DMD, I lose all perspective of what's happening on the actual table. So just an observation. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's because I'm tall, I don't know. But look, no good gophers. You can see here with the transparencies, they just don't look terrific. The resolution's a little bit muddy, and so sometimes the ball can get lost. Perhaps with more time with this table, I'll be more familiar with it and that won't be such an issue. The other table I mentioned in my first video was Whitewater. I owned a Whitewater machine back in the day. It's a fantastic game, but on this machine the frame rate drops probably to less than 30. There's a very noticeable delay with the flipper action on that. So look, overall we don't buy Arcade1up machines for graphics. We play old school games that don't have fancy graphics. I think the 720p, with some exceptions, such as this particular table, which don't look fantastic, I think it's more than adequate. Same with the DMD. I'm not concerned about the borders, and the contrast is acceptable. So I give the screens a tick, but in the overall context of the machine, I'd have to agree with the rest of YouTube. This is the machine's weak point. So let's have a look at some gameplay. This is where I think this machine really shines. The gameplay is fast, it's smooth, attack from Mars. What an absolutely fantastic game. The solenoids work well. I think they're strong enough. Gives a good sensation of realism. Here I am juggling one-handed pinball. I think for 99% of users, they're absolutely going to love the gameplay. It's very smooth. I made an observation in my first video about the high scores. On reflection, I'm probably pretty bad at pinball, but some of those high scores are very, very high. It's going to take me a long time to get anywhere near them, but I suppose that's part of the challenge. So you get 10 tables. Let's jump out. Easy to navigate. You will have seen, if you're watching this, you will have seen other videos which show you all of the games. Arabian Nights plays well. No Good Gophers plays well, but I've got the issue with that murkiness, especially with the transparent ramps. Whitewater is the dud. I don't know whether they'll be able to optimize this and release an update. I hope they do, because I can't play it in its current state. Roadshow, I had a Roadshow back in the day. That plays well. Hurricane plays well, but there's not much happening on the screen, which in my opinion that's a fairly dull game. Attack from Mars is absolutely fantastic. Fishtails is a great game. I had a Fishtails machine back in the day. Didn't have a Getaway, and I'm sorry that I didn't, because it's a fantastic game as well. Plays very smoothly. You can see that while I'm talking, I'm adjusting the volume. YouTubers have pointed out that there's no volume marker on the screen, so you don't get any feedback where it is. Again, not a huge deal. The volume goes up responsively and down responsively, so not a major issue. Junkyard plays well, and Medieval Madness plays smoothly as well. Well, Medieval Madness is a fantastic game. It's not a machine I had back in the day, because it came out towards the end of the pinball era, and I understand there weren't that many manufactured, and it was prohibitively expensive, but this game plays superbly. So overall, the gameplay again is an area where this machine, I think, shines. So my overall thoughts of Attack from Mars, I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. The form factor is perfect. It's easy to move around. Gives a great gameplay experience. In Australia, a little bit on the XY side. I hope those prices come down a little. Compared to the Star Wars machine, it's a different experience. Obviously the Star Wars games were made for computer and console gameplay. These tables are based on the real tables. My personal preference is I prefer the games based on actual tables. That said, Star Wars is a great game too, and I'll probably do a review of that. So if you're sitting on the fence, I'd say if you can afford it, go for it, and I look forward to future generations of machines that can rectify, in particular, the resolution and some of the lag issues. So thanks for watching, guys. I plan to put up some more videos. These are pretty ordinary quality at this stage, I understand that. I'm hoping to get better at this, better scripts, better graphics. So I've got plenty of machines that I can put up for review, so I plan to do that in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.